This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.
Live tonight from the virtual Crandon International Off-Road Raceway, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the 8th and final round of this 2020-21 virtual off-road racing series Pro 2 Championship. As always, happy that you're spending your Sunday evening with us here on Racecraft TV, where alongside myself, Evan Pasoko, happy to be joined as always by Austin Knight on the mic and twisted and tweaking the dials for us this evening. And Austin, we were just talking before we started back to where this all started with the Josh Edmondson win back in September when we embarked on this 8-round journey. Tonight, we crowned a champion and closed out what's been a great season of Pro 2 racing.
Indeed, and what a start of this season it was, with a very last lap pass in the hairpin on the last lap to just totally kick off this series and start it off with a bang. And I'm going to be honest, after all that, we went through a lot. We're even in a different year. I'm going to be honest, I'm still excited to see what happens here today.
And we've seen a lot of fun tracks. Of course, we've gone to all the different ones on the service, to Wild West, to Wild Horse, the short course here at Crandon mid-season. Twice, in fact, both races won by Cam Peterson. But there is nothing like the big house in the full Crandon circuit, where we close things off here tonight, as we mentioned, just like we did starting this season. There's a live look at your championship points leader, Cameron Peterson, in the qualifier. Top left of your screen, about 3 minutes in to a 10-minute open qualifying session. It'll set the field for today's 12-lap main event competition, caution halfway, as always. But it was the race win, I think, for Cameron last week at the short course here at Crandon that really solidified his position. He comes into this evening with a 19-point advantage over Josh Edmondson for first and second in the points. I think as long as he starts this race, he will be crowned your series champion. So that kind of leaves me thinking, Austin, the big thing that I want to watch for tonight. Yeah, he knows we're talking about him, right? Give us a great shot. I'm looking at Josh Edmondson and Brandon Proudfoot tonight. 142 for Edmondson, 140 for Proudfoot. Going to be 2 points between those two for second best in this series, and that could be the difference between 1 or 2 positions on track. So expecting all those drivers to be up front anyways. Those two names could definitely fight for the feature race win here this evening. But that battle for P2 in the points is going to be, I think, the big thing to look for.
Indeed it is, and the Fistful of Bourbon guys over at Jim Beaver Esports, 1, 2, and 3. Well, 1, 2, 4 right now, as Brian Prudell is the only one to separate them. That 777 Boss snowplow truck. Well, he made himself known last week at Crandon Short, and he put in a very good performance at the start of this race. We're going to see on how he does this time as well. And once again, qualifying not going to be the biggest factor here. I would say the best place you want to qualify other than pole will probably be around 6th and 7th, due to that being on the very outside of the track for this land rush start. You're close to the dirt, that's the closer you're going to grip up.
Yeah, you don't want to get booted back to a second row, depending on how many trucks we have rolling off, but you're exactly right. The benefit obviously goes to the pole sitter, because they're going to be on the very inside for turn number 1, but if you can get yourself a little bit off to the left to get yourself kind of out of the grass and out of the hills a little bit sooner, maybe you can squeeze around the high side down into that first corner and maybe avoid some of the chaos. But if you're anywhere in between that, right, 2nd through 6th or 7th, whatever the number is, there is really no formula to how to get a good start here. Obviously, you want to get off the line good, you want to get through the gears, but there is not enough room for how many trucks were starting wide at the start line into the first corner. So that's what makes this such an interesting race, as always, is the fact that you can qualify good. Pole has an advantage. You talk about maybe trying to get lucky, get that last spot on the outside of that front row, but let's be honest, it's going to be a bit of a cluster in that middle, and that's what makes these lane rush starts here at Crandon so exciting.
Yeah, lane rush, there's nothing better than a good old lane rush start here in these pro trucks, and I'm gonna be honest, I can't get over this lane rush start. There needs to be more series of lane rush starts. I really wish it was in road, but honestly, seeing LMP cars have a lane rush start is just a bit silly. The Cup
We're
cars
taking
cool.
a look. Yeah, we've seen the Cup cars used in a bunch of different things. I know some people have taken them onto the Rallycross tracks.
I tried that the other day.
Well.
That was a
ARCA
good
cars
idea.
as well, or I guess not they're the ARCA cars, but kind of the old National Series cars, if you will, are fun as well. I'm not sure they're going to handle it quite as well as these guys are. And I jinxed Trenton Briley there. We're taking a look in with the drone cam. He smacks the wall there in his queue time. So you can see Peterson still top of the board right now. Still about 3 minutes to go. But I think one thing that we've learned as this season's gone on is, for the most part, if you're fast at the start of the session, you're going to be pretty fast towards the end of the session. And there's Peterson back on track, currently at the very top spot. His advantage, only about a tenth of a second or so atop Josh Edmondson. So no doubt that those two drivers are going to be on each other's necks and backs throughout the entirety of this race. The competition caution, as always, halfway will come at the end of lap number 5. So it'll be more so a 5-lap run, the comp yellow, and then a 6-lap dash to the end. And don't forget, it's only a 12-lap race. That's because this is by far the longest track that we see on this series, 1.75 miles and 8 turns. So there's a lot that can happen each trip around.
Yeah, it is the longest track, so we're bordering on the edge of the term short course. This is the Nordschleifer of the short course world, but gotta be honest, it's probably the most beloved track of the short course world.
No, it absolutely is. I mean, I said that's the first thing I said when we came on, right? I mean, there's nothing like the big house at Crandon, and great to see it of this 8-race calendar 4 times, twice here on the full circuit, and then of course those 2 shorter ones as well on the short course. It's certainly put in a lot of good shows for us so far this season, and expecting it to do a lot of the same. And I'm just trying to take a look. We're looking at Drapkin now, just trying to see if I can find somebody outside of those 3. Not the Edmondson, not the Peterson, not the Proudfoots, but somebody else to get a little bit more. And you got guys like Joshua Gaiman, Zachary Drapkin that have been good so far this season. Gaiman with a win just a couple of weeks ago back in Wild West, just to see if they could play spoiler. And I want to say that the start of this race is so critical, but I keep going back to the fact that it's such a long lap that as long as you don't end up on your lid or destroy the truck, you'll have ample opportunity to make it up. So I think all you need to do going into the start is don't worry about being the big winner, just don't be the big loser on the opening lap. And I think that keeps everybody in contention for a good result.
I've seen some unique helmets in my life, but I've never seen a helmet visor covered with entirely stickers.
I've seen eyes on the visor, but I don't think he can see.
Well, Bodie Cryer is, he's looking all right out there. He's not last, so he definitely knows his way around there, but, he's kind of looking like Chick Hicks in the movie Cars, who just sponsors all over the place.
Contingencies for days. As we take a look at Bodie Cryer, he is currently 13th in the running order, and not a driver, who's in contention to break into a podium spot, but is 6th in the overall points. So it's a great run for him. Some of the guys who had started off so well but have fallen off, the likes of Josh Fox, Tyler Meninga, who we haven't seen in all the rounds of this. But Josh Fox, somebody else I know we were taking a look at earlier in the qualifier. He's somebody else who has been real good at points this year. How about Josh Fox, maybe, kind of get a dark pick in there to get a race win to close out the year. We've seen a handful of different race winners. Of course, Cam Peterson, a 3-time winner in the 7 starts so far this season. And then everybody else with the 1. 1 for Josh Edmondson, 1 for Brandon Proudfoot, 1 for Joshua Gaiman, and 1 for Connor Berry. Could one of those 4 drivers maybe pick up a second trip to victory lane?
anyone has the ability to win here, and anybody could win here. The championship pretty much wrapped up unless Cameron Peterson does not finish a lap, I presume, or just does not finish this race. We got 15 trucks all lined up and ready to go as qualifying ends, as we get a good shot of the Terminator Tyson Miller coming across the line, and he's going to end out qualifying right there as we're getting ready for our grid here at Crandon International Raceway.
I was just taking a look to see if anybody else wanted to sneak in a time. They get ample time. That 10-minute session is actually like 12. They're given so much leeway so that if they can start a lap right before that time actually expires, they have the ability to finish it, but nobody is going to surprise us. Peterson goes to the top of the board, and he stayed there. That best lap at qualifying did come on his last lap, but all 3 other time laps that Peterson put in would have been good enough for the pole position. Now, Josh Edmondson closed the gap a little bit. I know I had mentioned that the difference between those two is about 1/10 of a second earlier in Q. It ends up at about 2 when it's said and done. But let's go trackside and take a look at your Racecraft TV starting grid. And it is Cam Peterson on pole position for this one. The 1:18.480 will bring us to the green flag alongside Josh Edmondson in second. So Brian Prudle's going to end up in third spot with a branded Proudfoot P4. And Joshua Gamenos rounds out our top 5.
Yet starting in 6th is Zachary Drapkin with Cole Ashlock right beside him. And starting in the second row, it's Connor Berry, followed by Tyron Menninga, Tyson Miller, Trenton Briley, and Joshua Fox in 12th place, with Bodie Cryer, Zach Bucher, and Donald King at the end of this grid. And speaking of this grid, well, here they are. All 15 trucks lined up and getting ready to go. And there's no time to wait, as here comes the lights, and let's go one last time. Pro 2 truck racing here at Crandon.
10 wide into the first corner. Some trucks hit the eject button. They don't want to be a part of it, but it's an early advantage for Josh Edmondson. He's on the inside. Look at the outside, though. What a move all the way around.
Cole
Ashlock to the top? Yes, it is. He'll get through, and Drapkin now challenging. He's in second. He wants more.
Cole Ashlock, Zachary Drapkin get an amazing start. Josh Edmondson, great start for him. Then it's the Terminator of Tyson Miller right behind him, followed by Brandon Proudfoot as well. There's a car upside down. That's Joshua Fox and Cameron Peterson.
And Peterson got turned around as well. So there's several more trucks involved. Trenton Briley with issues. Brian Prudle is up and on the rocks down on the inside of the racetrack. Everybody carried way too much speed into that corner, and to check them all up, but Cam Peterson going to drop like a rock after the start of this race. He's down in position number 12. That's why it pays benefit to be oh so good for the rest of the year. The battle for the race lead still on, as the race lead now controlled by Drapkin, but here comes the challenge from the rear. It's Josh Edmondson.
Yeah, Drapkin, Edmondson, Gaiman, Ashlock, Proudfoot, Miller. This is where Josh Edmondson made the move of the season, and boom, right behind him, Cole Ashlock pulled on Joshua Gaiman.
Remember, it was that 4 of Ashlock who won that land rush start. He started way to the left-hand side of that 10 truck side-by-side land rush start, but he was very quickly overtaken, and now here's more. The 17 of Gaiman to the bottom. He'll make a pass along with the 22 of Brandon Proudfoot. So Ashlock for the race lead to 5th in just 1 lap.
Speaking of the race lead, Joshua Edmondson and Zachary Drapkin go side by side heading into the long hairpin, and Edmondson just held down that inside line. Joshua Edmondson, the 58 fistful of bourbon. Jim Beaver Esports Cars goes into the lead, but only for a little bit as Zachary Drapkin puts up a move down the inside. They're bumping and banging and rubbing it as they hop across the line for another lap. Drapkin, Edmondson so close to call. They're still side by side.
Exactly what Josh Edmondson needed to do. He was all but cleared that time through, but then the counter came from Drapkin. He stayed on the bottom, had the positioning, and he will hold on for now. But this is not just a 1-2 battle for the race lead. 3, 4, 5 all in line, closed it in. Could be a great battle for the race lead as we work now lap number 2 to the hairpin. The 56 truck gonna go way too deep. Edmondson to the bottom, but now Drapkin's going to get the run back off of the quarter. It's great stuff for the race lead, and so far keeping it clean.
Great stuff, great fight, and a great view on board our Racecraft TV drone camera as they continue to race it on. Edmondson, I feel like he's feeling a little bit nostalgic and might put in a great set down low in this fight for the lead here at Crandon.
And watch again, Gaiman, Proudfoot, Ashlock, all those drivers behind. If your leaders start to get a little bit physical, they are right on the doorstep to get into this battle. You can see Edmondson, though, he's keeping it clean. Could have very easily given it a shot there. There's a bit of a touch over the hill, and Edmondson now ends up wide. It's Gaiman down to the inside. He'll pull the slide. Gaiman at a race high P2. Edmondson, though, going to come back on the inside. All over each other. Give it to the 17.
Joshua Gaiman is now in second place. Our timing tower has a little bit of a reshuffle right there. I believe somebody may have gone into the pit lane, which caused all that malarkey to go on. But I feel like we are good right now. Joshua Gaiman sits in second. And it's a very big send by everybody. A very unique line by Drapkin compared to everybody else.
We saw that last time, and it opened up the inside for Edmondson. I thought it was going to work for the 58 machine, but Drapkin was able to get enough speed off of the corner, even though we went oh so wide into that hairpin. So his advantage, 2 truck lengths over Gaiman, who's second. Gaiman only a truck length of an advantage over Josh Edmondson. Your top 4 trucks last time separated by less than a second. That second fistful of bourbon truck is the 22 of Brandon Proudfoot. He rides in fourth, and he wants more. But first, Edmondson wants second back from Joshua Gaiman. He's not going to force the issue. Gaiman's focused on fighting for the race lead, though.
Joshua Gaiman is definitely focused for his second win of the season. His first one came in Wild West Motorsports, where after a crazy lap 1, he managed to find himself in the right spot at the right time to get himself into the lead. And then it was just no siree and no looking back. But he's got Joshua Edmondson right on his tail. There's no reversal rule helping his hand right now. He's going to have to beat everybody today.
And it is good, even stuff. Peterson in the back, still in 8th position after an early lap incident. Other than that,
oh, and Edmondson gets tapped! Edmondson got tapped by Proudfoot. Edmondson is around!
And it was all on his own. I think he pretty much spun it out on his own first, and then he got finished off by Proudfoot, who was going to go far deeper into the corner than what Edmondson wanted to do, and now he's back in this second pack. That basically takes him completely out of the battle for the race lead.
That is massive stuff for Joshua Edmondson as he sits down in 8th place now. And that just leaves Joshua Gaiman and Zachary Drapkin to battle out for the lead heading into halfway mark before that competition yellow, but that is something you do not want to see. Joshua Edmondson now behind Cameron Peterson, who is up there in 6th place.
So what a change, because I thought of those 3, even though Gaiman had got around Edmondson, I thought Edmondson was still in the best position to come back and win this race. He's really going to need to rely on some benefit from that mid-way caution. And now you see Peterson trying to get around Tyson Miller, who's been good. Miller started 10th. He's up to position number 5, mainly because he just stayed out of some of the chaos on the opening lap of this race. And up front, it's Drapkin, Gaiman, and now Proudfoot 1, 2, 3. With the top 2 trucks, a significant advantage. Working lap 5 at the end of this lap, we'll get our competition yellow.
And this lap, right as they come across the, pagoda-ish style building, you'll know, and underneath the banner, they will start that 6th lap and start up that final of the season competition caution. And then it's just going to get absolutely wild, and I can't predict anything was going to happen After that was Zachary Drapkin. What a race and what a start he's had.
He's been consistent, and he's been, to this point, mistake-free, and that's the biggest thing that's been working in his favor. In fact, the last 1.5 laps or so pulling away from Gaiman. Again, that comp yellow going to hurt him. You can see some of the trucks towards the back coming in for a pit stop, shy of that competition yellow, and now your race leaders will slow things down. The yellow is out. I saw Fox. I saw Meninga dive to pit road. They want to get a quick repair, get that truck fixed up however they can, and get back out there. And we will have a 6-lap sprint to the end to close out this virtual off-road racing series season. It is Drapkin, Gaiman, and Proudfoot. 1, 2, 3 at the break. Ashlock and Miller, the top 5.
Yeah, and looking at this standing results right now, what is your biggest surprise on the tower?
Well, I know I was talking about our 4 different race winners, and, was questioning, could we see another first-timer? Gaiman would be looking for a second win. Proudfoot would be looking for a second. But if Zachary Drapkin can do these next 6 laps like he did the previous 2, he could be the 5th different race winner in 6 weeks. I think Zachary Drapkin's got a real good opportunity, the best opportunity he's had all year to get a win. And in practice, he was only 7th best. I don't want to, discredit 7th best. That's far faster than I can do, right? But he was only 7th best in practice, and he was only 6th best in qualifying. But in that run, he was by far the best car. You got guys like Peterson who may be better, but they're in traffic. Of course, Edmondson had the contact. Zachary Drapkin looking for a race win. Back on the throttle. Green flag in the air. 6 laps to go this time by to close the season.
Let's get her going once more. They get back on her green flag. Zachary Drapkin, Joshua Gaiman, and Brandon Proudfoot now joining the fight. Proudfoot puts in a send on Joshua Gaiman. He had a big look down there. And now we're going to have to deal with 3 drivers now competing for the lead. For that competition, Caution, Proudfoot was 2 seconds behind him. But now with Proudfoot right there, Joshua Gaiman might have his mirrors full and might distract him a little bit more from Zachary Drapkin up in the lead.
And benefiting, of course, Drapkin there, that single file start, because his advantages, aside for the battle for 2nd and 3rd, pretty much the same over 4th on back. I'd say unless these leaders get together, you're looking at basically a 3-truck battle for the race win. Proudfoot working hard to get around Gaiman. They touch slightly this time. The 22 get to stay off of him. Proudfoot trying to be very careful here, but Drapkin opening up the lead.
Right on board, Brandon Proudfoot right behind these 2 trucks, spewing up dirt everywhere they go. Joshua Gaiman taking that very low line. Here it goes. Brandon Proudfoot trying to go for the switchback. It's not going to work. It works absolutely opposite in his favor. He's actually falling back now from these 2.
Yeah, that just did not work at all. He got way too high and up and into the marbles. He was in the dirty stuff, and unlike what Drapkin's been able to do where he goes wide, but he gets a lot of power off the corner, Proudfoot had none of that. So he takes himself out of 2nd. He stays 3rd. Gaiman now can focus solely on not being defensive, but going on the offense here and trying to chase down Zachary Drapkin, who has been perfect, basically. Look at the very different entries to this quarter. Look how wide Drapkin is, and it's almost a hairpin, very late apex for Drapkin versus Gaiman. It's interesting to see that while 1st and 2nd are driving so differently, they're pretty even at the moment. Here comes Proudfoot. Look out. Nearly got into Gaiman.
And right behind him, Cameron Peterson and Cole Ashlock are going side by side across the line. And, ooh, Cole getting the elbows out right there on our championship winner, Cameron Peterson. As, well, he's gone halfway right now, and Trenton Briley is out of this race. It is mathematically impossible for anyone to beat Cameron Peterson now as he wins the championship and clinches it.
It is, and we kind of knew that coming into this one. Just needed to start it for it to be official. It's been such a good year for Peterson. That's not to say that he hasn't had up and downs, right? Just as early as, 2-3 weeks ago, his points advantage in the championship was single digits and still in question, but he got a 3rd 2 weeks ago at Wild Horse, a win last time out here at the Crandon Short Course, and that's what allowed him to not be that worried about running in position number 5 in this race right now. He's not going to give up, though. Cole Ashlock's got a fight on his hands. Kudos to the 4-truck for working so hard after getting that early race lead to try to contend here for a top 5.
Cole Ashlock had a great start. It was a Great moment for him in the final time, but he's got Cameron Peterson, one of the hardest chargers in this field, after being last at one point, after ending up on that berm and stuck sideways. Managed to pull his way back up through the grid and now fighting for 4th place. Side by side with Cole Ashlock, they go.
Tyson Miller, Josh Edmondson, not that far back from this group, so keep an eye on them if Ashlock and Peterson come to blows. But up front, the difference, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, all still the same. The 4 truck lengths that separate your podium drivers right now. Drapkin working lap number 9 of 12. It is clean track in front of him, and the pace that he has shown thus far tells me this is his race to lose. Can he get his first checkered flag of the season in the finale and become the 5th different race winner in 12 starts?
Well, judging by the dirty noses of everyone else and that clean red and white nose of Zachary Drapkin, he hasn't seen the back of another truck since practice. And Zachary Drapkin is in clean air. All he needs to do is keep running his line and be a little defensive at times, and he should be fine.
And this goes back to what we talked about in Q, right? How Q isn't that critical here. P6, I think, in any other racetrack, and he's going to be in a world of hurt in the first couple of corners, and he's not going to be able to break away and stay clean like this. P6 in qualifying is pretty unremarkable. He was basically in the middle of that 10-wide land rest start, which is exactly where I did not want to be, but it's worked out for him. There's Peterson further on back, side by side with Cole Ashlock. In a battle for 4th and 5th, and Ashlock going to fly back by on the inside. Peterson now to the outside. They'll touch a little bit. This is great stuff for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, they're swapping end over end with each other, and it is absolutely insane. As the front guy is still pulling away, Cameron Peterson just wants to claw his way up there within these next 2 laps, because I feel like Cameron Peterson has a chance to win this race. Cole Ashlock getting up onto the berm on corner entry in this hairpin, and here comes Peterson off the exit drag race down here, and they're bumping and banging with each other.
That he tried to use that touch just to slow him down a little bit. Peterson now going to go back to the bottom, but again, you got to give Cole Ashlock credit here. He is going head-to-head with what many say is the best Pro 2, Pro 4 racer on the service. Ashlock 7th in the points, Peterson the champ, but right now they are head-to-head for 4th and 5th on track. Maybe Peterson finally with the preferred position. He'll put the slide on him. Ashlock trying to cross back to the inside, and he will stay on him. Great battling. It's for 4th and 5th. You're not missing anything for the race lead. It's still Drapkin.
Still Drapkin. We also got to fight for 2nd place. Brendan Proudfoot putting the charge on Joshua Gaiman as well. And these top 3 all within the same camera shot, and it is absolutely fantastic here at Crandon. What a way to end out a season.
And any mistake from these top 3 ends it. White flag, next time in the air. Will the battle for 2nd distract for the battle for the race lead? Proudfoot trying to get to the inside of Gaiman. It's going to be open. Does he put the slide on him? He parks it on the bumper, but the cross back by Gaiman. He saw it coming, avoided it. It's a drag race for 2nd.
Almost pulled a Joshua Edmondson as he jumps up into 5th. He gets past Cole Ashlock, by the way. Joshua Edison pulled out that exact move, but he pulled out the block off the exit, which made that move stick. Joshua Gaiman stays in 2nd place.
And what as this has done is it's allowed Drapkin to pull away, right? Drapkin was right ahead of these guys a lap and a half ago. Now he's checked out. Huge slide by Proudfoot. But again, Gaiman read it, saw it coming, went for the undercut, and got away from him. For Zachary Drapkin at the front of the field, right-hander to close lap number 11. And this race, this season, down to the final lap.
White flag in the air. 1 time to go for Zachary Drapkin. He's got a 2nd lead to these 2 that are fighting like wild bees right behind him. Brandon Proudfoot puts in a slide and a push and a shove to get down to the inside. Proudfoot into 2nd place. He gets past Joshua Gaiman, but Gaiman now looking down to the inside as well as they're heading into the hairpin. And look at that. There's Cameron Peterson. It's a 3-way fight for the final podium positions. Gaiman puts a send in there. He puts a block and he splits the fistful of bourbon cars. And they're going to go around on the outside, then on the inside. Proudfoot, Peterson, Gaiman, All three of these drivers looking to get onto the podium for one last time this season. Cameron Peterson trying to get onto the podium and say, I'm champion for a reason, and he's giving all the business right now. And look at that, he's shoving him up to the wall.
It was a bit of payback from Gaiman there. Tried to do exactly to Proudfoot what Proudfoot had done for him. It didn't work. Proudfoot's to second. The fight's going to be for third. There's a shove as Gaiman moves the champ out of the way. Gaiman the bump and run. He'll go to third. It's all on his own for second position to the 22 of Proudfoot. Gaiman drives it in again. Can't get there. And a checkered flag. Zachary Drapkin wins the finale at Crandon. And with a spin and a flip over the finish, Cam Peterson, your series champion.
Zachary Drapkin, the 5th different winner here in the virtual off-road racing series. And oh, he is over the moon right now. The Red Line Oil 56 truck absolutely was on fire today.
Came into this race as the highest driver in the points without a win, right? Trailing Gaiman, a race winner at Wild West. Proudfoot, a winner at Wild West. Edmondson, who had won the opener back here at Crandon, and of course the 3-time winner in Peterson. That's all Drapkin needed. Couldn't really gain a spot in the points tonight. Couldn't really lose a spot in the points tonight. Came out to prove a point. Wasn't stellar in practice. Wasn't stellar in qualifying. But he was the best when it mattered the most, managed his race perfectly. Look at that truck, not a spot on it nearly.
Not a spot on it except for all the dirt these guys are giving us to show right now. What a race and what a season as Zachary Drapkin is over the moon right now. He deserves to burn it down as blowing up the engine as well.
It's the only way to end it. You can see behind the team trucks as well, Brandon Proudfoot and Josh Edmondson park alongside. It'll be a P2 for Proudfoot and a P5 for Edmondson in this one. But those drivers going to sweep the podium positions as in the points, that is you saw a look there at your full race results here tonight from Crandon.
Zachary Drapkin takes the win, followed by Brandon Proudfoot, Joshua Gavin, Cameron Peterson, Joshua Edmondson, Cole Ashlock coming home in 6th place there, followed by Brian Prudell, Tyson Miller, Beauty Crier, Josh Fox, Donald King, Jack Bucher, Connor Berry, and Tyler Maniga with Trenton Briley at the end, retiring his truck halfway through this race. What a race we just witnessed.
No better way to close out the year, right? You set off at the top, the crazy first laps that we've seen in some of these races. And in a series in which at times it looked like some drivers could have ran away with it. 5 different race winners in 8 races. I think it's a great show.
Yeah, 5 different winners, and we are speaking to our 5th different race winner right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Zachary Drapkin.
What's up, guys? Oh, that was fun.
It certainly looked like a lot of fun for you out there as you were up in front for almost the entire race right now. For the entire race, and it looked like no one could keep up with you.
Yeah, actually on the start, I came out, I qualified 6th, and I was 2nd to the whole shot. I think Mr. Gaiman got me. I think he did in the start, and then I got next to Josh, and then I think after that I just took off. I had my buddy Braden in my ear. And wow, that was fun. I'm so pumped right now.
Pumped you were. Entering into this race, you were the highest points position without a win, and with this you now get rid of that stat. How does it feel to get that win?
Well, I gotta say this, these guys that are racing in this are top of the line, the best in the world, and it feels so good to be able to battle with them and just for once check out. I know a lot of them didn't have their best race, but I just feel so good to come out and be competitive and check out like that, especially at my favorite track in the Pro 2, Crandon.
Yeah, it's a win at the Big House Long configuration. What does a win here mean to you?
A win here gives me a lot of hope for next season, seeing that I can run out front, and I really do feel like this is going to be the start of hopefully a championship next season and be able to run with Cam and Josh and Brian and all the fast guys. I really do feel like I can do it. The first race actually here, I have a little thing. the first race here I did with these guys in VORRS, I actually spun out when I was in 6th, and I took myself out of the race. So from not even able to do a corner in the Pro 2, I think I spun out like 8 or 9 times the first time I ran this track with these guys. So be able to go from the beginning of the season spinning out to be able to bring home a win, it just feels so good. I can't thank everybody in this league that's helped me get fast, the whole Racecraft team, for really just broadcasting, always having a good hype over the chat, and it's always fun to come out here and race with these guys. So bringing it home at Crandon just is excitement. There's nothing else I could say about it other than I'm so pumped looking into next season.
Well, thank you, Zachary. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank my sponsors and my buddy Braden. I got to thank Signature Repellers, Hill Marine, Redline Oil, Lawrence Equipment, FabTech, April and Dave Winter, Ambush Esports, CBR, Timmy at Sign Pros wrapping my buggy, Luke for wrapping my Pro 2. It was on fire tonight, and she looked good. It was a replica wrap for my real buggy. Big O Tires, Sparko, iRacing Short Course, Rigid, AIM, and Braden for being my spotter in my ear, and he was tuning my truck in practice. It was just the best race I could have had with him. He was all over it. The guy was just saying, hopefully next season I can run doors to doors with him. So, I can't say anymore. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you, Zachary. Big congratulations. And over to Evan, who is standing by with Brandon Proudfoot.
You were chatting with the driver of the number 22 truck. It's a second tonight in the season finale for Brandon Proudfoot. Brandon, congratulations on not only a good result here tonight, but a good result for the season as a whole. I believe, and it'll be a close one, but I believe this finish is going to get you second in the points, but it's all said and done. But before we talk about that, just tell us about this race. A lot of hard racing with the likes of Gaiman and others there for second.
Yeah, that track was pretty tough. It was I believe the slowest track we've had here, including for Crandon Short. It was the track that I think came out the widest, and you can see that on the lap times. The fastest lap time was actually by Gaiman there with a 19.4, so about a whole second off of what Cam qualified for the pole. So that track, it was very tough, and it was coming down to the finest of lines and even having to throw slide jobs here and there, which made it fun for the front.
It made a good show for us as well. Tune it in. Did you feel like if this race, maybe the cards had fallen differently, that you had a chance maybe to challenge Zachary for the race win there? Because you out-qualified him, but he got that advantage after the land rush started, and then after that, there were points that you were able to get close, but it kind of seemed like whoever was fighting you from behind or vice versa, that battle for second just kept keeping everybody back from him.
Yeah, it was a very, in my opinion, a single line track or two guys fighting for one. Side by side was possible just because of the place that we're at, but it's that fast line tonight was not too lane. It was very tough, but it made for some close racing all around front to back.
Looking back on this one, again, I think it's still unofficial, but based on the point spread, this should net you second in the points. Just to kind of recap these past 8 weeks, the race a bit earlier this year at Wild West, how would you kind of assess how you and that 22 team did?
I'm happy, considering I test not so much in these things. I've got the opportunity to work with such great guys, Cam, Josh, Edmondson alike, and everybody else over at Jim Beaver. It makes the competition really tough, and this whole league just throughout the season, you can look at the beginning from the beginning of the season towards the end here, and you can see everybody's getting closer and closer, and it's making these races that much tougher because everybody's that time gap from first to last is getting smaller and smaller, and with better competition coming in and everybody getting their programs more refined, it's making for some closer racing, which is a hell of a blast.
We'll let you get out of here. Before we do, though, Brandon, sponsors and shout-outs, all those good folks. Who makes it happen for you?
Of course, Primary Fistful of Bourbon, winners get whiskey, or should I say champions get whiskey. Congratulations, Cam. General Tire, Polaris RZR, Vision Wheel, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, JSP XTV Axles, Gibson Performance, Acronis, Sant Racing Fabrication, 07 Designs, Motorsport Drop, Graham, mom, sister, girlfriend downstairs, you guys doing the broadcast, and to close it all off, I'd like to dedicate this season to my grandfather who passed away there on December 13th from lung cancer, so I'm dedicating this season to him.
We appreciate the time, Brandon, and we'll pass our well wishes along to you and the family. But thanks for being a part of this series. Thanks for putting on a show for us to commentate each Sunday, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Your P2 finisher tonight at Crandon, P2 in the points. Brandon Proudfoot will pass it on down back to Austin, who's standing by with third, Joshua Gaiman.
Yeah, I'm standing by at the number 17 Racecraft Esports Artesian truck right now. Josh, how you feeling about that race, and how was it?
It was really fun. I was not expecting to run up through the field at the start like that. Didn't have like the best launch off the line, but was able to pass trucks and get up there to the podium pretty quick.
Yeah, you were battling for the lead and second place throughout this entire race. Came home in third after a big, a massively wild last lap with Cameron Peterson and Brendan Proudfoot for second place. Walk us through that entire battle.
Yeah, I knew Brandon was there the whole time. I figured he'd come on strong at the end. Yeah, the more the track gets worn out, the faster he usually gets. So I just tried, to hold the position as long as I could. Maybe up to the last lap, but he got me there with like 2 to go or whatever it was. Yeah, it was just starting to get a little loose at the end there, and the back of the truck was wanting to just go every which direction it wanted to.
Well, Josh, it was a good race on your part. Walk us through the season. How was this race, and how was the season?
It was definitely better than the first time we raced the long course. It started out pretty rough with the DNF there in the first Crandon race. And then after that, it kind of flipped the script and was, podiums or top fives for the whole season. So it was definitely fun. There was no... I never really had a bad race other than that first race. So it was definitely really nice to come out with, multiple podiums, even a win in the season. So that was definitely really awesome.
Well, congrats on a great season, and congrats on another podium to end out the season. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I definitely got to give a shout out to Racecraft Esports and Artesian. It's going to be awesome. We got a lot of things planned up here soon, so that'll be really fun.
All right, thank you, Joshua. And over to Evan Pasoko to top to our Le Champion, ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Peterson.
How's it going tonight, Austin?
I'll tell you what, Cam, you did your job, and that was you made tonight not matter. I know that you would have liked to get a 4th race win this year, but I think as we talked about on the broadcast tonight, the big thing was these last 2 weeks. A podium at Wild Horse, a race win on the short course here 2 weeks ago that made tonight not as nail-biting as some of the guys below you in the points would have liked, as you claimed the championship for this virtual off-road racing series. At least tonight, though, quite a battle. You were up front in practice, up front in queue. There's no shock there, but you had to work for the entirety of this 12-lap feature.
Yeah, this whole season was definitely been fought tooth and nail this whole time. But that race was a blast. I tried a different launch at the start there and spun and lost a lot of time there. I think I got back to maybe 9th, 10th, 11th, something. I can't remember, but just kept my eyes open, kept my eyes looking far ahead for any trouble. Made up some spots because of some people getting into trouble that they shouldn't have been in, and just capitalized on that. Yeah, I tried working my way up the field with kind of a hurt truck. I know I had a crumpled fender from one of the laps. I'm not sure which one. I have to look back at it again, but yeah, this has been an amazing season. Top fives, I think every race, and that's what leads up to championship winning. So. Super stoked to be here. Super stoked to put on this kind of performance, and really hoping it carries on to the next season.
We were talking just a little bit earlier with Brandon in second place tonight, and he talked about how much the speed of the first place truck and the speed of the last place truck has closed in since we were here in September to the end of the year. Obviously, he started out this championship on the offensive, right? I mean, he had to come back from early race wins from Josh and Brandon. Those guys end up finishing just below you in the top 3 in the points. Just kind of recap how this season has gone for you, and how you felt like the competition was just going at it with these guys back to back for 8 weeks.
Yeah, the biggest key was taking advantage of those EOLs, and finishing races really. If I knew I could finish a race, I knew I'd have an advantage, because getting through traffic in a Pro 2 after an EOL is so difficult. It's probably some of the hardest driving you can do on iRacing, in my opinion. And so yeah, doing that, getting those top 5s after EOLs and a few wins there as well, that's obviously a big help. But just staying out of trouble, wreck avoidance is so important. I think I got into maybe 2 wrecks this year, but didn't really take into effect in the points. So yeah, just stay in the clear. If you're on pole, that's even better. So, you know, practice makes perfect. I should say practice makes better. But yeah, just get out in front if I can, and get as many points as I can, run clean. And if I am coming up through traffic, I'm not pushing people out of the way. Well, at least that's not the goal anyways. I was behind Cole for probably 4 laps in this race, and there's nothing to really fight for except for track position. Obviously, I want to get past him. He doesn't want to get past me, and I tried racing it, I mean, inches away every corner that I could without touching him, and like it's just almost impossible. You end up making contact anyways. But that was probably my favorite race of the year, even with the 4th place finish. I had a smile on my face the whole time. That was a blast.
It's the end of this season, but it's the start of a new calendar year as we kind of close off of this virtual off-road racing series and look forward to the rest of 2021. Where can everybody tune it in at home, catch you in that 48 truck on track in the sim for this year?
Sadly, my Canadian internet doesn't offer any live stream because of my lack of speed, I should say, in my internet. So it's just I'll be posting on my Instagram pages, Cameron Peterson, Twitter, Peterson Cam, and my Facebook page as well. And you can also follow up on Jim Beaver Esports pages as well. They try to stay up to date with the events that I'm going in, just like these. So yeah, I think we'll be able to continue with the momentum here, and you'll see a lot more of me.
We're looking forward to it. We'll let you get out of here. Before we do, anybody else you want to say hi to?
Really want to thank you guys for putting this on, for being here, broadcasting. Always looking forward to watching the replays. You guys do a phenomenal job. You guys on Jim Beaver Esports, Fistful of Bourbon, Winners Get Whiskey, General Tire, Polaris Razor, Vision Wheel, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, GSP XTV Axles, Gibson Performance Exhaust, Cronus, Sant Racing Fabrication, 07 Designs by Matt Everhart, and Chris Leone's Motorsport Drop on Twitter. And as well as everyone that's been watching, hats off to you guys. Everyone on the Jim Beaver Esports team. It's always pushing me to do my best, keeping me on my toes. Picked up Josh Edmondson this year, and you know, he raises the bar. So you got to keep me fresh, and I'm trying to keep him, you know, fresh as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season. It's going to be really tight, just like you said on at that point with Zach. You know, getting out there, the gap has been tightened significantly, and next season is going to show that.
We're looking forward to it. I'll close it by stealing Brandon's line. Winners get whiskey and champions get whiskey. Cam, congratulations once more on the title, and thanks for chatting.
Thanks, Evan. Have a good night.
It's your 4th place finisher tonight at Crandon, Austin, and your champion of the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series. That's Cameron Peterson.
Indeed, Cameron did absolutely everything he needed to do today to claim that championship. And what a season he's had, and what a race, and what a season we've had here on Racecraft TV and for the virtual off-road racing series. We had highs, we had lows, but most importantly, we had a lot of fun.
And I think I'm going to echo exactly what the driver said, right? What a way to close out the season. I think for a lot of them, this was their favorite race. And if you go back right now, post-race, go back and watch last time we were here at Crandon, right? Back in September when Josh Edmondson won the season opener. Was it a good battle for the race win? Yes. But was it a good battle 1st through 15th? Nothing like we saw here tonight. So we have seen these 15 to 20 different drivers that we've seen over the course of this year grow. And it's only going to continue to get tighter. And these top guys, the Proudfoots, the Petersons, right? The top 3s in this series, they know that the rest of the field is coming. They're learning, they're getting better. And I think that goes to show that there's going to be healthy competition in this Pro 2 category headed into a new year.
Indeed, this is the series they all want to win. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Racecraft TV for the virtual off-road racing series season finale and the Pro 2 Championship. I've been joined by Evan Pasoko. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.
This Racecraft TV stream is brought to you by Artesian Builds. Artesian builds high-quality custom PCs made to order for a low price. Contact Artesian Builds today to get started on your own custom PC as low as $64 a month. All Artesian builds are made live on stream. You can watch your builds and talk to the builders live at twitch.tv/Artesian Builds. For more information about Artesian Builds, check the link in the description.